killing me. And I can't see just what you want. Do I go back to hell? Or should I go love myself? Or should I go as myself? made of brick. Yeah, bones 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 made of brick.
It's Chalk in session for BBC Radio 6 Music. That was Tongue, and I'm very happy to say that we're talking to Ross and Benedict as we're listening to this beautiful session again together. Hello, both.
Hello, how's it going? Hey.
Welcome, and thank you very much for recording this for us at Maida Vale recently. Big week for you guys in Chalk, Ben. It's the debut album. It's Crystal Punk, out on Friday.
It's Crystal Punk. I know. It's a bit crazy. Thankfully, we've got a lot of packing to do at the minute, making sure all the washing is done and stuff, kind of keeping the head right in that way, or else I'd probably just be freaking out constantly.
We should explain, you're packing for South by Southwest, I presume, for your trip to Austin, Texas, is it? Is that right, Ross?
Yeah, we're getting the swimming shorts packed, the sun cream all packed up.
So hang on, are you out in America when your debut album is released?
No, we'll be in Dublin at Spin Dizzy doing an in-store, but then that night we're flying to London, and then the next day we're going to Austin, so it's all go.
That's so exciting. Well, congratulations on Crystal Punk. Before we hear more from the Maida Vale session, Ross, can you just tell us a little bit about how Chalk was formed?
Well, Ben reached out to me when we were at uni studying film, and he seen that I had this poster on my wall on my Instagram page. It was a Gilla band poster. Ben sort of reached out, talked about maybe wanting to form a band, and we sort of just did it as a hobby for a few years whilst we were at uni. When the lockdown happened, we all kind of moved in together and started to sort of approach the band as a bigger project, and learning how to really write songs and stuff. We decided to give that a proper shot. So it's been quite the journey so far. It's only really been about 5 years as Chalk, but we've known each other a little longer than that.
Yeah, you mentioned Gilla Band there. I remember seeing them a few times in Austin, Texas, at early South by Southwest gigs for them. Just that intense atmosphere they'd create on stage. It was something else. No wonder you had their poster on the wall, Ross.
I know, it was a good deal because it was signed poster. It was the end of the tour. They had to get rid of the posters, so there was, I think it was a wee 20% discount code. Yeah, it's funny that if that was never a thing, then who knows?
Could never happened.
You supported some of our favourite bands like Idols and Fontaines DC and Sprints as well, Ben. Were they full tours with any of those bands, or were they one-off gigs?
We did a kind of full tour with Sprints, which was amazing. We did first. That was great to kind of play some places in Ireland we'd even never played before. We've done Fontaines twice, once at the Guinness Storehouse. Lancome was also on that bill, so that was a pretty unreal kind of day. I still kind of, when I say that lineup out loud, I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good. And we did another one off of Fontaines at Belfast. Was it the Boucher playing field? So that was quite a big show. And we've done 5 nights with Idols. We kind of did their Irish run in Belfast and Dublin. So that was kind of amazing to kind of get into the run and the feel with Idols in that way as well.
That's perfect, isn't it? Because the music, I've seen you play live and it is epic. I love how it's shimmering and beautiful. At the same time, it's brutal and very, very powerful as well. And to my untrained ears, and to somebody who's only been to Belfast twice, for me, you sum up what I know from Belfast's music history is all about: the punk and the love of electronic music and the fragile nature of the city. Everything about it is you in the music.
Yeah, you've said it. You've hit it on the head. We sort of looked at those cultures and genres that the city and the country have sort of that have, so we wanted to explore that punk kind of side and that electronic side, and this perfect balance of euphoria and rage, which is something that we have sort of always thought was descriptors of the Chalk sound. So Crystal Punk, the title, kind of is inspired by those two sort of scenes. Crystal kind of being the more lighter, beautiful electronic side, and punk obviously just being from the 70s and the 80s in Belfast and everything else around it.
It's so cool. It's the rage and the rave, and this is Chalk. We're going to hear another Maida Vale session track right now on 6 Music. This one is Pain. Pain in session. This is Chalk, our very special guest tonight before they head off to South by Southwest, where Steve Lamacq will be broadcasting from live next Monday here on 6 Music from 4 p.m. I know you've got a big old run of shows in UK as well, including Fleece in Bristol on the 22nd of April, right through to to London, Manchester, Leeds, Glasgow. You're in Dublin, Belfast. You're at Beaded Theory Festival. And you're doing that big show with the aforementioned Idols as well, I think, in Belfast in August, aren't you, Ross?
Yeah, that's the Custom House Square. So that's another place that we've seen so many acts come through Belfast as well. So it's going to be sick.
Picking up on what Ben was saying before we heard Pain there, Ross. You're talking about the electronic side and the punk side as well. Has it always been kind of in your DNA to try everything regardless of genre? And is that a Belfast thing, not being, stuck to one kind of thing and one genre?
Well, when we started thinking about the sound of the band, like the punk sort of thing was definitely going to be there, but that electronic element just felt so, suppose, like unique for us to explore, because it was this whole new thing. Like we didn't have any experience like with synthesizers or like the production in that sense. We were basically a guitar band, so we kind of trained ourselves in that regard and just sort of started to listen to more. We're always fans of like electronic and ambient music. Even that first EP, Conditions, that we did, the last song on it was really the first song where we started to bring that side of things in, and that just informed how we went about finishing up the Conditions EP trilogy. We just evolved and got more confident in that sonic landscape, I suppose.
And the song we're about to hear, which is Can't Feel It. I mean, Ross, this is a song where you give it your all, don't you? I mean, having seen you do this live, I was slightly worried for you, I must admit, when you were doing this one. This takes everything out of you.
Yeah, it is a bit intense at times, but it's good fun. Yeah, it's one of my favourites on the album.
Let's hear this then. This is Chalk in session for Six Music, and this is Can't Feel It. Chalk on Six Music in session, recorded at Maida Vale. Now, last time you were at BBC's Maida Vale studios, you were doing a session for Introducing, but you've been upgraded for this session, have you, Ben?
We have been upgraded. I can't exactly remember what the room was called, but it was probably 4 times bigger, very beautiful, lovely carpet, lovely curtains. Yeah, the team were great as well, and you actually kind of could feel that kind of energy in the room, even when we were walking in for the session. We kind of peeked in a few other rooms and there was like a full orchestra kind of playing and stuff like that. So very excited and real privilege to play in Maida Vale again.
It sounds like the beautiful surroundings that you made this album in. Was it at all similar to where you recorded Crystal Punk?
Yes, we recorded it in Attica Studios in Donegal, kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Lots of a beautiful mountainscape kind of surrounding us.
Football field as well. We got to pass the ball about, talk about songs and what we need to get rid of and mute and redo. So.
Oh, that sounds nice, actually. So you'd break and it would be bit of footy.
Bit of footy, it's like depending on how, on board with an idea, maybe would inform how hard you kick the ball at someone else, how much finesse you put in your pass, stuff like that. It was always quite nice weather as well, so it was nice to get out of the studio 20 minutes just to clear the head in that way.
There's an Irish title on the Crystal Punk record as well. Can you pronounce track number 9 for me?
Belfast Jane is how we've been told by like some of our friends who speak Gaelic. So that's a title that has always sort of been in our notes app. So it's the Irish spelling and word for Belfast.
Tell me a bit about growing up in the city, Ross. You've said that it's a place where national identity has never been simple. Did that kind of form you as a person and as a band?
Yeah, I'm from Lurgan, County Armagh. So it's about 40 minutes outside of Belfast, but Ben and I, Ben being from Monaghan, both like basically have been living here or studied here for like the last, when we met and formed the band. So it's been a beautiful place to sort of spend your, from 18 to maybe your young 20s, studying film and meeting all these people. I think what we took away from doing that course was just a sense of community as well, like all these different people with different loves of film and music and going to gigs. It just feels like a strong sense of like, it feels like a city that's a bit of an underdog for all the other sort of cities across like UK and Europe, but it feels like there is an energy, there's a buzz that has always been there that is unmatched like anywhere in the world.
So a good place to be creative, Belfast then, you'd say, Ben?
Yeah, definitely. The city itself is kind of so dynamic and beautiful in the way you can't help but be influenced by it. Belfast is kind of like an amazing university town and that kind of coming of age when you're kind of taking all these influence and even kind of figuring yourself out as a person. Belfast, I think, really is maybe the perfect place for that. And it definitely was kind of the perfect training ground for us to kind of figure ourselves out as musicians.
Well, it's definitely worked, isn't it? And we're so happy that the album is Crystal Punk. It's out on Friday. Thank you very much for being in session for us. And best of luck out on the road in South by Southwest and on the April tour dates as well. Bristol, right through to Belfast. Thank you very much, Ben and Ross. And we're going to hear the final Chalk session track now. I Don't Care, IDC. This is Chalk.